Well, hello internet, here we are, got ourselves another video. This one here is something that I have been living with for a few years now. I have always had pain, certain level of discomfort. Even growing up when I was younger, like young in school, I lived with certain level of discomfort or pain. However, when you grow up with physical pain, you develop a high pain tolerance, and I lived with it for years. It never really affected me. I still played some sports, kinda, sorta. However, I really didn't have much of an interest in sports, so my physical activities turned to riding mountain bikes when I was younger, and I would ride very hard, very fast. And after one of those rides, you do feel it. However, it was just normal for me, and I worked my way through it. I had worked through my my early work life with normal pain, or at least what I thought was normal physical pain. You know, the effects of that pain, whether it's fatigue or insomnia or not being able to do the things I wanted to do. In my personal side of life, everything became involved around work because that's what paid the bills. And everything seemed to go okay until 2013, when I was involved in the workplace injury. And then that's when everything seemed to fall apart. Once I had the workplace injury, my undiagnosed condition basically became out of control. Basically, it became to the point where I could no longer do everything that I used to be able to do, whether it was riding the bike or family obligations, personal obligations, you know, go camping, working in the yard, working a full-time job. Things became basically centered around the pain and the discomfort. You try to work your way through it, meaning think around it, because I have never been one to reach for pharmaceuticals to numb the pain. However, it got to the point where I was taking over-the-counter painkillers, whether it's Advil, Tylenol, or stronger, and we got to the point where even those weren't doing the job they were intended to do. They were actually causing more issues with my kidneys and liver, and of course the risk of addiction. Well, I have regained some of the lost independence that I had lost in the last few years. With everything that was going on, things were pretty rough for a bit. That's kind of why there are big gaps in my YouTube videos, even as recently as a few months back, because I am still working through, struggling with, and living with the pain and loss of independence and all that comes with the whole issues. There has been a obvious direction change to my life from where it once was headed in a new direction now. I find that now that a lot of the stress that once was is gone, a lot of my issues that I was having that were clouding my judgment or were causing me to make poor choices are less and less, which is, allowing me to focus more and more on the direction of the future. Sometimes when you're living with pain, your life changes so much. Sometimes it becomes unrecognizable to what it once was. Even so much so that people that are in your life can no longer be part of your life because they don't understand where you're coming from, what you're feeling, where you're headed. So of course they pull the plug, they bail, they leave to pursue their own path in life rather than being there for you, being around you, being there to help you through your dark times. Whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's your spouse, they choose other ways, and at the time you don't understand why they did it, because you can't understand, you can't see yourself doing the same thing to them, so therefore you can't understand why they did it to you. But at the same time you can see why they did it, because if the direction of your life is not going the direction that they want to, and if they don't want to invest the time to keep a 12, 14-year relationship going, then they pull the plug and go their own way. When you're living with pain, discomfort, fatigue, other issues, people look at you differently. They don't realize the kind of things that you go through on a daily basis. They look at you and they see a big strong guy that should be able to work just like anybody else, because there's nothing physically appearing to be wrong with them. However, you can't do the same things as you once did. And a lot of people don't realize that, and even once you explain to them what is going on, they still don't understand, because they have never been down that road themselves. They don't understand the feeling of what you go through on, an hourly basis, a day-to-day basis. They don't understand the feelings of having your life changed from what it once was. Your daily struggles, they amplify, they become mountains, they become overwhelming, and if you allow things to overwhelm you, then they become in control of your life, and then you're essentially stuck and you can't go forward, can't go in reverse. You essentially get to the point where you can't make any move because you're pinned between a rock and a hard place. For me, the only way to get any kind of traction, once things had shown themselves, was to make the decision that I made and move forward. One of the biggest things that I struggle with now is sometimes things don't quite happen the day or the time that they are supposed to or meant to happen at. Sometimes you make an appointment, whether it's for a doctor's appointment, a vehicle appointment, or even just to go for coffee with a friend. Sometimes you have to cancel because your discomfort level is way too high, your anxiety's too high, you haven't slept in the better part of a week, and you probably look like some kind of B-movie, creeper or something. So things don't quite happen when you want them to. Projects take way longer. Sometimes you have to pay people to build something for you because you no longer physically can invest that kind of time or effort into doing it, because it'll cost you the rest of the summer recovering from that little 2 or 3 hour physical type job. I know I'm a lot better than what I once was a few years ago, a few months ago, but at the same time I'm still living with, and probably will end up living with, the pain, discomfort, and stuff that I have been living with for the rest of my life. Just remember, if you have family or friends out there, don't judge them by, the outward appearance. Don't judge them by how they behave, because there may be underlying things contributing to what they say, what they do, how they behave, how they act, that they have not told you, have not disclosed to you yet, because of, well, the way everybody's life is. But a little bit of a video here, just kind of showing what's the what. It is what it is, and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.